And I feel bad for her. I kind of want it to like speed up a little bit. All of a sudden, like one thing that it does happen. I started How to Write a Love Story. I know that I usually like do a little check-in before I start, but I've already started and I'm already about 125 pages in. So just a little recap. How to Write a Love Story is about Kiara, who has inherited her father's unfinished fantasy book, and she is tasked to write it when he passes. He is like a famous best-selling fantasy author. And Sam is a publisher who is his biggest fan, and his job is to go help her because she has writer's block. So, couple of initial thoughts. Kiara's kind of like rough around the edges. She's definitely got her guards up. And I feel bad for her because she wanted to be a writer and she wrote under a pen name. I think it was like Thrillers. And then somebody like outed her as her father's daughter. So now that's all anybody wants to know. And they don't, she has all these standards that she has to live up to. And so she stopped writing. So now she has to write this book. And she is just so overwhelmed and so like all over the place. We get to the point where like at this point, like she finally has started like sending her writing to Sam. Like she doesn't want to send anything because she's all over the place. She's scatterbrained, and she also has to live up to her father's legacy of the last book of his series, right? So I get it. But I think that she's more of like the grumpy and he's the sunshine a little bit. I don't know. That's kind of like the vibe that I get. I do like Sam. He definitely is a loner. Like he goes to a bar and he reads at a bar. So yeah. I do like that he's just like so fanning out like on meeting his daughter, the daughter of his like favorite writer. But like not in a creepy way, like there was a scene like where he wanted to see his office, and it just like he kind of just sneaks around, and it turns out that what he thought was the office was a closet. So she like kind of was like, yeah, I knew you couldn't resist like snooping around his house, So yeah, there's that. I kind of like, we're already 125 pages in. It's about 300 pages, and there's no like, I don't know, there's no like little love tension yet. They're still kind of just getting to know each other. So I'm hoping to get some of that like build up soon. I don't know, we'll see. Sorry, Misty's just like over here rubbing up against the phone, and that's why everything's moving so much. But anyway, so yeah, I just got home from work. Well, actually from the doctor's. I went to the doctor after work, so I am a mess. So I am going to order myself some food, try to read a little bit more of this, and see how far I get tonight, and if I have any other draw. Okay, so a couple of quick thoughts before I head out. I'm about I just got to chapter 16, so about halfway through, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little, not bored, but like, nothing's really progressing with their relationship. So I kind of want it to like speed up a little bit. Not that I want it to go like so fast, but I feel like at this rate, we're halfway through the book, and I feel like the romance part is gonna feel so rushed. I don't really see too much of a build-up. Like I see a build-up of, editor and writer relationship and maybe like a friendship, but I just feel like there's not enough build-up or hinting of a romantic relationship on its way. I do think, and I think it's pretty predictable that at this point there's going to be a forced proximity, and that's where all of this is going to happen. So I'm excited to see that part of it. I'm heading out right now. I am going with my mom to get tea and do afternoon tea. It's the same place that I went to a few months ago with my friend for her birthday, so that's gonna be fun. So I'm heading out now to go pick her up, and then I'll check back in if and when I get a little bit more red. Probably not gonna get any more red until I get home later on today, but that's where I am. This is just how I got comfortable on my chair, so this is what we're going with. I just got off of Saturday night sprints with Krista at Books and Jam. She usually does Sunday, but she has a lot planned for tomorrow, so she did them for tonight, which was good because I needed some motivation to get more of this read. I went to have afternoon tea with my mom today, which was really nice, and then I came home and I listened to some more and got a couple things done around the house. So I have about 100 pages left, and it's cute. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. But I am feeling like it just got like a little too rushed. Like all of a sudden, there's like a scene where he's, let's just say, a little too intoxicated, right? And he winds up crashing at her house. There's a whole bunch of like little things, and then they start talking about the book again. And like, while we have some internal dialogue between the two because it's the 2 point of views, and we know that they're both like physically attracted to each other, but even that, I feel like it's just a few little comments. Like this one comment that Sam makes that it's like she smells like strawberries or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, we don't get to see any of that like in person, like cute little glances where like it's like slightly flirtatious. Like none of that is happening until like we get all of a sudden like one thing that it does happen. So I was a little disappointed in that. Like I wanted a little bit more of that build up before we got to the big event, so to speak. I mean, I do like, it was cute, like how, well, not cute, but like I liked how they did it where it was like they were talking about a scene in the book and that kind of like sparked the interest with them. And then they had their first kiss finally. And then it just progressed from there, like in the next, I think, chapter or something like that. So there's only about 100 pages left. I'm assuming we still have a third act breakup to go through. I don't know. I mean, just going by our normal routine here of what rom-coms usually are. Maybe not. Because I did read a book recently that was a romance that didn't have a third act breakup, which I liked. So we might not get that. We might. I'm thinking we're going to, just based off of how, this is going like with the publisher versus client and all this other stuff, relationship. But I'm definitely liking the two of them. And I like the two of them together. I like their little like quirks with each other. I maybe wanted to see a little bit more banter between them. But I'm not disappointed completely. I am still enjoying this. So I'm going to bed because my allergy medicine has worn off. I will finish the last 100 pages tomorrow. I think I have almost exactly 100 pages left, and I will finish that tomorrow. Okay, so I just got my nails done. Not my nails. I just got a pedicure, and I switched books while I had my pedicure, but I've been listening on my way here to more of How to Write a Love Story, and I have not much left. So we just got to like, a scene where like there's this entire chapter just on like her friend and that situation, things like that. And then something happened with the book, and now we're kind of just like in limbo right now. And because of where this is going, I'm not going to give any spoilers. There's definitely going to be some tension between Sam and Kiara. Hoping that it doesn't feel rushed because we have like less than 100 pages left in the book. I already feel like we just got like kind of one scene and then that's it. Like nothing. So no discussion other than just like, yeah, like there's clearly the physical attraction. So we'll see how this ends. I'm enjoying the story and everything about them in terms of like their own characters. As far as like the romance part, I don't know, I'm not like not enjoying this book. I'm definitely enjoying it, but I just kind of hope to see a little bit more in terms of like their love story, because the whole thing is how to write a love story. So clearly that's where we should be going. But anyway, I'm going to run around to a couple of little free libraries. I do still have some books that I need to unhaul because I want to do another round of cleaning up my bookshelves and posting on Pango. And I'm actually going to do a cleanup of Pango and see whatever wasn't selling, maybe I could just pull those and get those into little free libraries as well. So I'm going to try to unhold the rest of what's in my bag. I'm going to go to 3 of them, and then we'll just see what happens. Okay, so it's about 6 o'clock almost. I did my little bit of running around. I went to a couple of little free libraries and got some books out of my car. I'm almost done. I think I have like maybe 4 books left, but they were full. Just enough room for like maybe 1 or 2 in each. I think one of them I was able to put like 3 of them in. So that was good. But anyway, I finished. So I really love all of the characters. I do love Sam and Kiara and how they interact with each other. I love Maddie, who is Kiara's best friend. I really hope that that if Catherine Walsh does like a companion series, that she does Maddie's story next, because the way she left her story, I feel like she would be great for the next book. So that would be really cute. Couple of things though that were like not off for me, but like I just wish there was a little bit more. So the romance part, I didn't really get a lot of like the swooning and the build up and like, I don't want to say necessarily tension, but like the crush was more internal on each other, like in each other's minds, but nothing really like on the page where they're interacting with each other, really until like one scene when they're talking about her book and then they start flirting with each other. And then like the very next scene is like, you know, not a lot of flirting. Like some small areas here and there that they were flirting, like in a couple of different places, but not a lot. So it wasn't really until like the last, I want to say third of the book where we get more. But then it's like, okay, they're flirting, they do their thing, and then all of a sudden we have the issue, like the problem, you know, which comes in always whenever there's a romance. And then thankfully I like that didn't drag on and like that was resolved, but then it's just like, okay, now we go back to, oh my goodness, I love you, and there was none of that really on the page. But I do like their interactions together. Like I feel like they definitely had a very strong friendship. And I really like that. And I would have loved to have just seen that develop more on the page than just kind of like assuming that it just developed. So with that being said, I really did enjoy this. There were a few things, like I said, that I do wish was a little bit better. But I think I'm going to land on like a high 3.5, low 4 for this. Just because I did enjoy it, but it could use some improvements. So that's my opinion on this. But this is something that I would also like to see a companion series and another book in the series. Definitely want to see Maddie's story. So I don't know, maybe we can get that soon. I know this was just published in March of this year, so who knows, maybe in another year or 2 she might be working on it. That's all for May's Book of the Month pick. Make sure you check back at the beginning of June to see what my next prompt and next book is going to be for my Book of the Month vault. Also, don't forget to let me know down in the comments all of your thoughts on this book. I know that there's a few people who have already said that they love How to Write a Love Story and that it was one of their favorite books recently. So I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts and put them down in the comments. And if you just want to let me know that you are here but you're a little too shy to comment, then pick one of the heart emojis and leave that for me down in the comments. Well, that's all I have for now. Bye.